plays a significant role and has significant implications on our national progress. Uh, if we look at the overall agri exports contributes to about 15% of the total merchandise exports from India. It actually increased from about 11% to about 14% over the last 1 year. So last year has been a very good year, especially 2021, a very good year for Indian agricultural exports. And we see that with increased globalization and increased integration of the food chains, there is a significant opportunity for Indian agricultural exports to grow. In 2021, the global agricultural trade was valued at about $2 trillion. That is about $1.96 trillion. And India's contribution was about $56 billion, close to 3%. So we have, Hemendra, you were mentioning we were at the range of around 40, 42, 45. Last year, we have seen a significant growth, a 33% growth vis-a-vis what we saw previously. Can you hear me?
Yes, Sanjay, you can.
Sure. So we were at around 42 billion in 2020. We touched about 56 billion in 21. And in terms of our export basket, if you're looking at the commodities that are important to us from an export perspective, the largest commodity was, of course, cereals. Cereals alone contributed to about $13 billion of this 56 billion. That's about 23-24% of the total exports that happened, agri exports that happened from India. And in 2021, over 20, we saw a 41% increase in export of cereals. So you would have heard of a lot of activity happening around rice and wheat. So a major increase in export of rice, and of course, a significant increase in export of wheat as well. In the cereals itself, rice is of course the largest contributor. Rice contributes to more than 80%, close to about $10 billion of the $13 billion is rice, and then about 1.7 to $2 billion is wheat. So cereals as a category is an important category. Rice is an important category for our agricultural exports. And there's a lot of work to be done in that space, especially from a sustainability perspective, water conservation perspective, pesticide residue management perspective, and startups have a large role to play. The second important category was cotton. Cotton did about $10 billion. So cotton actually grew by around 70% year on year. So typically cotton is around $6-7 billion in terms of exports. We did very, very well last year. The other key commodities in terms of exports is seafoods. Shrimp is our big strength. That is the third largest contributing commodity. About 12% of our exports is from seafoods. Then meat and sugar, they contribute around $4.5 billion each about 8%. And of course, we have fruits and vegetables. The importance of fruits and vegetables is primarily because of its contribution to small and marginal farmers, and more so because of the size. About $170 billion is the market size in terms of global trade, and we do about $3.5 to $4 billion in terms of trade. Another very important one is spices, which also contributes to about $3 billion in terms of export and about 5% of our total agri basket. So broadly, these are the top 4-5 commodities that contribute to our agricultural exports. And what we see are that there are 5 commodities that are critical and that have significant potential for exports. One is, of course, the fruits and vegetables, as I said, primarily because of the size, $170 billion, trade size, and we are just at $3 billion, and we have the ability, potential to address this market. Second is shrimp, primarily because, of course, India is the largest exporter, but there is a lot of activity going on in shrimp, especially in terms of sustainability. We have the ability, we have the production capacity, and the cost of production of Indian shrimp is much lower compared to other competitors. So there's a significant opportunity there. The third is spices. India means spices, and the differentiating factor here is the brand that Indian spices have. So we are, of course, the largest exporters of spices. We do about $3 billion in terms of exports of the $9 billion market. And that is a big opportunity for startups to play, especially in terms of quality, in terms of technology interventions for, planting material and connecting spice MSME and farmers to the markets.